In this video we'll deal with operations performance objectives and more specifically the 5 performance indicators. Now operations management is broadly concerned with the following stakeholders. Clearly operations management must deal with customers and must take into account the requirements of customers, but also suppliers. The suppliers of raw materials and the suppliers of technology, these are essential for the functioning of the business. It's important that the business can discuss requirements in terms of purchases of equipment or machinery, or looking at advancements in technology on the one side, or perhaps just talking to suppliers of raw materials. But operations management must integrate the opinions and the views of these stakeholders, must take it on board. The shareholders are clearly important. The shareholders own the business, so it's important that operations management are able to deal with the shareholders and explain their policies and their procedures and explain to them the way in which the business is managed. Of course, the employees need to be kept in the loop. The employees need to be aware of the strategies being undertaken by management, the processes that are being implemented and the changes in processes, proposed changes in products or plant or machinery or in routines. It's important that the employees are aware and are informed. The employees are an important stakeholder. This is their livelihood. And also society. It's important that society in general, the local community, they know about the business, they know about how it's running and how what it's proposing to do, and looking at its impact in the local community. This could be anything from noise from the factory, or pollution, or opportunities for employment within the community, opportunities for training, sponsorship of local organisations. It can be a whole host of ways in which the organisation and the community interact. Stakeholders refer to people who have an interest in or are affected by the operation. That's what we mean by stakeholders. And you can see that the list of 5 above are clearly stakeholders. Now let's move to operations performance objectives and talk about customers. Well, clearly the customers are interested in the price of the product, the quality of the product, and the terms of sale of the product. So as a stakeholder, customers are important. They must be kept abreast of what is happening with the product and indeed with the organisation itself. Suppliers, well, they affect the operations in terms of the quality, the design, say the quality of the products required by the suppliers, or the design of equipment. Or suppliers are critically important for the organisation if it's to maintain its position in the market. Stakeholders are the owners, as I said earlier. They're the owners of the business, and clearly they've got an interest in the performance of the business. The employees are looking for job security, remuneration, and good conditions of employment. So the employees have an interest in the business. And as I said again earlier, the society has got an interest. Environmental pollution, road congestion, noise, opportunities for employment, opportunities for training, involvement with the local community, and so on. So society has an interest in the organisation as well. Now the 5 performance objectives, well, these are quality. Make sure the quality of the product is good. It projects a positive image of the organisation, and it fulfills the customer requirements and expectations. Speed of delivery, delivery time, lead times on delivery, making sure that what's promised happens in terms of delivery. Dependability, that if the organization has promised to do something at a particular time, or has got a particular reputation for doing what it says, that's the organization being dependable. Then we have flexibility. The organization should be able to flex according to market conditions or to the requirements of its stakeholders. It should be able to accommodate change, integrate new practices, but at the same time involve the community, involve the employees, inform the stakeholders, make the suppliers aware of what it's doing and thinking. So it should have flexibility. And also, of course, costs. The function of management, to a large extent, is to control cost, to make sure that the cost of production is not excessive, and that the organization is able to produce the product, the good or service, at a price which is affordable and which will enable it to cover its overheads and pay its bills, and at the same time generate a profit. Now let's start by talking about quality, the first one we talked about. Well, quality is linked to conformance. The product should conform to its stated specifications. So whatever the company states as its specifications for the product, the actual product, the one that goes into the market, that product should conform to those specifications. There should not be a mismatch from the specifications or between the specifications and the product. The product should precisely meet the specifications, and if it does, that is good quality. There are two aspects here. Good quality within operations lead to high levels of customer satisfaction, which is good, of course, for future sales. So the company gains a reputation for having good quality. In other words, it delivers what it says it's delivering. But also, high levels of conformance to specifications leads to fewer mistakes and thereby cost savings. If the product does not conform to the specifications, then it's a reject. It'll have to be made again, which will cost the organization more raw materials, more processing time, more labor time, more administration time, as well as, of course, damaging the reputation of the business. So conformance to specifications means that there is a saving in terms of these remedial measures which would have to be put in place otherwise. It's important that the product that's produced conforms exactly to the specifications. Speed. Well, the speed of delivery is important in promoting customer satisfaction. Customers, when they order a product, they want it soon. They don't want it in some distant time, perhaps. But also they want to be informed when it's going to be delivered. They want to know with certainty, so they can factor that in. If it's a consumer product, they want to know when they're going to get it. If it's a capital item, a piece of equipment that the company manufactures, then the purchaser down the line wants to know when will it arrive, so that they can integrate it into their production system. So speed of delivery is important. Prompt delivery promotes a positive customer experience of the organization. Prompt delivery makes the organization look efficient, look professional, and therefore will encourage future sales. It may also, of course, lead to an opportunity to charge a higher price. Sometimes companies, because they have such a good reputation, they're so reliable, they've got good quality and speed of delivery, they're able to charge a premium. It depends on the product, depends on the market, and so on, but there may be an opportunity there. Speed and cost reduction. Well, speed reduces inventories and risks. The faster the turnaround, the fewer inventories are required. They don't have to keep lots of stocks and the stocks are idle for a long time. The organization is turning around the stock on a very fast level. It's at a fast rate. It's producing at a fast rate, and it's using up its raw materials and its components and so on. So it reduces inventories and thereby, of course, reduces risks because the inventories are being turned over. If they were not operating at this speed, inventories would get bigger and perhaps products may go out of fashion, or customers may turn against the company or the image of the company or against the product, in which case the company would be left with large stock holdings. So a faster throughput of information or customers will mean reduced costs. Better communications with the customers will mean perhaps less administration, less frustration on the part of the customers, but also less issues for the customer relations management team, less adverse comments and less adverse publicity. So it's a faster throughput of information should reduce costs. Now, dependability. Well, dependability means being on time. In other words, customers receive their products or services on time. It can be difficult to measure, but dependability means the company is dependable. It does what it says. If it says the customer will have the product on a particular date, it's there. Now, it's desirable because late deliveries are seen as negative features of the product. So dependability is important. Late deliveries adversely affect the reputation of the business. It can adversely affect future sales. Dependability is important in the context of suppliers. Good dependability may lead to future orders. It's certainly important if the company is delivering raw materials, for example, to other companies. They need the raw materials to maintain their production. So the company must be dependable. It must deliver when it says. If it doesn't, the other companies may cease to work. They don't have the raw materials. So dependability is very important. Flexibility. Well, this is the ability to change the operation, to, as I said earlier, to flex, to modify its processes or its technology or its position in the market. Now, flexibility issues, well, product and service flexibility. The operation may be fitted to a customer's precise requirement. Depends on the product, but sometimes the company is able to produce products that precisely match customer requirements, particularly if it's a big product or an expensive product. Perhaps it could be even custom made, parts of it custom made to meet the customer's requirements. Depends on the product, depends on the price of the product. But having that flexibility, having the flexibility to perhaps produce items that suit one segment of the market and producing a variant of the product to match some other segment in the market. That's flexibility. Being able to switch over production from one to the other and switch over smoothly without big breaks or without major costs. There's also mixed flexibility, allows the choice of product for the customer and may lead to the development of new products. Sometimes the companies can allow the customers to select from within a range of products. And from feedback and from the comments received by the marketing section and the customer relations management and from the various parts of the organization, comments may come back which may promote the development of a new product, because now there's a greater understanding of the customer requirements in terms of product specification, the range of products, the functionality of the products, the prices, the designs. So new opportunities may arise from comments, but essentially it comes down to the organisation being able to offer a mix or a choice of products for our customers, from which the customers may choose. Volume and delivery flexibility. Well, the organisation can adjust its output levels and designs to meet unexpected customer requirements. That's flexibility, when it's able to step up production if the market needs more. If it needs less, it's able to tone down its production and make savings, or perhaps look for alternative uses for its machinery and operators and staff, so that the whole system is still running at a high level. But it's able to flex in the sense of it's able to vary its deliveries and its volume of production, and it's able to do it smoothly. The flexibility has been designed in. The plant may run at 100%, or it may run at less, 90%. And scaling it down from 100 to 90 should be factored in to the overall design of the plant, enabling it to have that flexibility. But it may also be designed in a way that if it is scaled back, then the excess capacity thereby generated, that could be used for the production of something else. So it raises perhaps other opportunities. Cost. Well, cost is linked to speed, obviously. The speed and efficient delivery of the product leads to a positive image of the business, as we said earlier. Also, idle stock and greater utilization of resources. So there's less idle stock, I should say. When there is speed in the system, when the system is meeting its objectives in a dependable and in a speedy fashion, there is less stock, as I said earlier. The stores will turn over its raw materials and its components faster. There's greater utilization of resources. Quality. Good product quality leads to positive image of the business and more future orders. So it's important that cost and quality are considered. The organisation must have a policy related to quality. Perhaps it's got a total quality approach, so that quality is built in from the moment the raw materials arrive or the order arrives right through to the completion time. And quality is monitored all the way through to ensure that there will be good customer satisfaction at the end, and also there will not be repeated tasks or scrap items, or quality is factored in from the start, and that may be it has some impact on cost. It doesn't have to be a negative impact on cost. It could be positive. It could be that more emphasis on quality reduces wastage, which could mean a greater saving. So it depends. Flexibility, as I said earlier, the ability to change the product and deliver in line with customer requirements, that leads to greater sales. Having the ability to switch production from one line to another, or for the ability to scale back production, as I said when we looked at flexibility a few moments ago, these may have cost implications, but it's for the management to understand the nature of the costs and try to find alternatives that plug any increase in costs as a consequence of trying to introduce flexibility into the system. And of course, dependability. The ability to deliver according to specifications, promises and requirements will promote the image of the business and lead to greater future sales. But dependability will have to be policed. It'll have to be built into the system. There'll have to be processes that ensure dependability, ensure that the business does what it says and does it when it promised. And it'll require resources to do that. The advantages of having a dependable reputation in terms of future sales may outweigh the cost of monitoring. So it's a management decision that they must carefully cost and understand. So we've looked at the performance indicators. Essentially what we got was speed, quality, flexibility, dependability and cost. So we have them here as a little pentagon. Speed, faster customer response. Quality, products that meet specifications. So there's conformance to specifications. Flexibility, the ability to change product or to change the scale of the operation. And dependability, on-time deliveries, having reliable on-time deliveries. And of course all of these are connected, as we've seen in the last part of the notes. All of these are connected, so we've got connections between all of them. That's all we're going to deal with here. We've talked about now performance indicators. We've picked 5 performance indicators, and these are quite well established in the literature, and it's important that you know these. So please make a note of them and fill out your notes related to this topic. That's all we're going to deal with here, so let's leave it at that and say thank you for watching.